Even if a police car will be parked across the street, they won't give you a ticket. But if you are the reason that something happened because you crossed in the wrong time, then it's a different story. We're about to turn left, and on the right side, there's a street called Dag Hammarskjöld Street. Remember the General Secretary that died 1961 in a plane crash that we might know more about today. It might not have been an incident. It might have been planned. There's a Dutch pilot that actually revealed a few years back that they were the one, or he was the one, that shot down the plane. But again, this is an ongoing investigation, and we'll see if it will ever see the light of day with a final disclosure. So now we're driving on the most expensive address in Sweden. The street here on the right side is called the Seashore Street, and you cannot buy an apartment. You have to buy a floor. It's about 11 to 15 bedroom apartments, and even if you have the money, there's a team. The ones who live in those buildings, they're part of a guild. They can decide who they want to move in, so you need other criteria before they allow you to move in to one of these buildings. Another famous person, we talked a bit about sport because this is a big thing here in Sweden. We love sport, and a bit further down the street, Björn Borg, the tennis player, has an apartment, but he lives in a town called Södertälje, which is about 1 hour south of Stockholm, where he has his villa. But on this street, he has quite of a big apartment. Another famous Swede that used to live here for a short period of time, his name is Tiger Woods. I know. He was married to a Swedish girl, and for some reason they're not married anymore. I think he even changed his name from Tiger Woods to Cheetah Woods. It's another fast animal. And I'm sorry, that's another bad joke. But a lot of moneyed people lives on this street, and if you come back here in the winter, you'll see a lot of mink coats walking around with small puppies in their bags. Yes, this is the part where Gucci bag with a puppy plays a big role. And this hotel here on the right side, Hotel Diplomat, tells the story about this area. Remember I told you we called it the Spy City? So where the hotel is, it's actually a bigger building. So even the building next to the hotel is part of the same building. You'll notice when we pass the red awnings, it's like a semicircle shape, and we had the OSS, you know, before the CIA, sorry. They started here in the building. We had the Russian consulate here, the Italian. So they were all living in the same complex, spying on each other. And another advice, maybe it'll be a bit too far. It's about a 10 minutes walk from the Opera House. But if you look now here to the right, there's a store called Svensk 10 with 2 N's. That's a tiny department store, a very nice one, and most of the furnitures and the fabrics to those furnitures were designed by one person called Joseph Frank that came from Austria before the Second World War. He came here during the 30s, and he made so many patterns to couches, to pillows, with so many colors that they have a vault with about 3,000 patterns that haven't seen the light of day. And every 2 years, they release 2 to 3 more patterns. And we see them for the first time, so it never gets old. And when you'll see them, it's so colorful, and you'll be quite amazed that they're from the 30s. Swedish 10, that's the store. And they have nice restaurants here on the right. And if you remember, Ingrid Bergman was born here at number 1 on the right side. And she went to school at the Royal Dramatic Theatre that you see right here to the right. And another refreshment, the high-end street right here where the Gucci and 7-Eleven is. So you know exactly, if you ask for a Gucci store or if you Google on your phone, you'll know exactly where to find the beginning of this store or the street. I think so. Is that the opera, Goran?
Yeah.
Thank you. You decide where you want to. So now you'll see the King's Garden, and we're going to end the tour on the other side of this garden. That's where the Opera House is. So if you walk through the park, you'll end up here, and you'll have the department store NK to the right. If it's too sunny, look on the left side soon. You'll see the Gallerian. It will be on the right-hand side of the coach after we turn left. And you don't have to walk on the streets, you know. We have tunnels under that links to both sides, so you can actually walk in the shade if that's what you want. But this turned out to be a wonderful day. We always laugh that a Swedish year is 9 months of expectations and 3 months of disappointment. So we have to admit that this year has been actually quite good. The only problem is how to escape the heat, because in our apartments there's no air conditioning. So you can buy a fan in some of the stores, or iced coffee is probably very popular today. Though we are the country after Finland that drinks the most coffee. We drink about 3.6 cups of coffee a day. That's the average for a Swede. And we have a word which is lagom. Have you heard about that word? It's a word that you won't find in many other languages. Lagom, spelled L-A-G-O-M, means not too little, not too much, just about enough. I know it's a long explanation, but when it comes to coffee, we're far away from lagom. You know, we drink a lot. And another advice, if you feel a bit lost and you know you need to make it back to the Opera House, imagine that the Royal Palace is number 0. And it's like a spider in a spider web. All the numbers expand from the Royal Palace. So when we're going to turn left now, you'll see how the numbers starting high and going down. You see here we're passing number 29.